the question comes out to be that you are quite a DIY guy. So when it comes to a property investing, you come from the IT background as well. Why you did not consider doing it yourself?
Look, that's a great question, and I'll unpack in layers. I think as somebody who comes from an IT and a data background, I wasn't against going like ourselves and doing that, the whole 9 yards, as they say, and like researching where we want to buy a house, doing all the stuff with it. But being first time investors, we were cautious that there's a lot of unknowns still for us. And I think the biggest reason is having a kid as well. We were very time poor. So I knew that I needed to do justice to my work, to my job. I needed to do justice to my family life. And that's something that if I wanted to buy a property like myself or ourselves, I wouldn't have the amount of time and energy needed to rightly justify that effort to grab a property.
Yeah.
So we were like, it's not that we are amateurs, it's just that it was a conscious decision that that's something that we won't be able to do in the right manner. And buying a property is up to you what kind of time horizon you have. Like, had we had like 6, 12 months, 18 months, we were thinking ki we'll buy leisurely, then fine. I wouldn't have hired services, we would have done it ourselves. But then you don't get that seriousness, you don't get that push. You need that push to commit to actually call or get in touch with real estate agents, get all the things organized, get all the arrangements done, the due diligence done, all that. I knew I wouldn't have the time to make those phone calls or those emails. So that was the biggest reason we hired a firm to do that for us. And I'm not saying we blindly trusted them, because we had our own strategies, our own thoughts. Everybody's budget is different. Depending on what price range you want to buy in. Like no two deals are the same, no two property purchases are the same. The house that we bought for ourselves is not the same as what our friends have. Everybody has got their own journey. And honestly, we should never compare across each other's journeys. We should never get into that sense of competition. I feel that having reached a point, my one learning is your only race is with yourself. Tomorrow, are you in a better position than where you are today? If you can answer that yes, or at least if it's not a no, you're in a better spot. Some days are good, some days are okay, some days are bad, but it balances out night and day.
Spot on. Yeah.
So that was the reason that we were like, all right, let's do an investment, but let's hire people to help us. Let's use the money wisely, because if we do it ourselves, it'll take us much longer. And we had an idea in terms of what states we wanted to enter, approximate which areas you'd love to explore. So it wasn't that hard for us. Like, we didn't blindly trust, like, okay, you buy this area. No, we didn't do that. We got our things aligned. We discussed what makes sense. We kind of knew what kind of numbers we wanted to go for, what our budget was. And then we took a calculated decision.
Perfect.